Okay, I got my Nikon going. Alright, I'm going to make the call now. Hope this goes easy. Tired of dealing with it. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. Hello. Yes. My current address is yes, I do. I have no idea what happened. Their equipment failed. Their equipment failed. Why don't you take a look at the evidence, sir? In July, their equipment failed and took a picture of me when I wasn't in my vehicle for 15 minutes, and you took my license away and said that I missed a rolling retest, which is impossible if I wasn't in my vehicle for 15 minutes. That was. In April, their equipment failed in July, and they didn't replace it. It failed again in November, and they told me they were going to replace it, and they didn't. The thing failed again. I moved on the 10th, between the 10th and the 11th. I moved, and I drove that vehicle back and forth 500 miles, and without any problems whatsoever. I came home on the 11th, and I shut the vehicle off. I went in. I went to sleep, and I didn't drive the vehicle that day at all. But I went the next day and I tried to start it, and it was dead. The vehicle was dead, and so I called in Toxalock, and they didn't say anything about tampering. I didn't tamper with anything. I have no idea where their equipment is, and I'm 18 months into a 12-month commitment. I've successfully completed 18 months and never tested one time. There is no violation. There was no power loss. Sir, take a look at your own evidence that you're sending me. Take a look. The thing, how could it be disconnected? The thing, here's what happened. Please take a look at the notes. take a look at okay. I came home to my new house at 7:27 at 7:10 to take a rolling retest, and I passed it. I went to sleep at 7:27 a.m. I shut the engine off. I passed successfully, and then 2 hours later at 9:41, while I was sleeping, it said power off. I have no idea what that means. Then it says on 4:11 power on, which it wasn't on at all. And they didn't get the thing working for 16 days. I was talking to them every day, and they were trying to figure it out. And they told me that their equipment failed, and they were going to replace it, and they replaced it on April 26th. And it's not my fault. What am I supposed? I've got it. What do you want me to show you? They're the. I did. Why don't you read what? I have no idea. I wrote you a 75-page letter, and I sent you copies of it. Sir, this equipment failed. This company is abusing taxpayers. Their equipment failed twice, and the first time I wasn't even in the vehicle, and you accused me of driving it, failing a rolling retest. Now you're saying that I tampered with the vehicle, and I wasn't even in the vehicle, and they tried for 16 days to you want me to show you the tow bill? They tried for 16 days to get it to work. Then they finally said the thing is dead, and they ordered a new unit. And on the 26th, I had to have it towed, and they replaced the unit. And the thing's been working ever since. (2009). None. No. No. I've got a case in Lapeer County that's gone on for 3 years that's going to trial, and on the 26th I missed my trial date, and the prosecutor used it as an excuse to put a warrant out for my arrest. So this is another issue that I'm dealing with because of Intoxiloc's failure, equipment failure. I failed to appear because their equipment failed. I'm driving my vehicle, and I live in a it's a private subdivision, and I drive it to keep the battery charged. I can't. If I don't drive, then the battery is going to die, and I can't. I'm not driving it illegally. I'm driving it in a private subdivision, and I did it. It's not my fault. You falsely accused me of a capital crime that I didn't commit. I didn't tamper with anything, and I didn't. And the equipment failed last July, and they refused to replace it. They told me the thing failed in November, and they told me if I have it towed, they would replace the equipment. I had it towed. It cost me $145 to have it towed, I got it there, and the repair center said, "We don't know what you're talking about. We don't have the equipment here." They promised me that they would have it there, and I got there, and then they said, "We don't know what you're talking about." So all they did was charge up my battery, and I drove it home. And then the thing, they never fixed it, and then it failed again in April. And then they finally decided, they admitted that it was their fault. If it was my fault, then they would have sued me. They tried to get me to pay $500. They said, "Hey, look, it's not your fault. It's our fault, but what we want you to do is we want you to go to have it replaced and pay $500, and then we'll reimburse you." But they owe me $960 in miscellaneous charges. They charged me 3 payments. They're supposed to take 2 payments bi-monthly. They've taken out 3 payments 3 different times. They took out 2 lockout fees, $150. They just took out. You took my license away, and then they charged me 3 payments in May. I've got it all documented. It's in tax-a-lot, and it's abusing taxpayers, and you people are responsible for monitoring and policing in tax-a-lot, and they're a criminal organization. How could they owe me $960? And I can show you that, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I didn't touch it. It's all false. Their equipment failed. They replaced it. It had nothing to do with me tampering with it. If you take a look at your own record, you'll see it says start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. Why don't you look at that? How could that be? It was the equipment failing. I want my license back. I would need my vehicle. You've taken my vehicle away for 8 months. So you're not going to tell me what you're going to do? Are you going to give me my license back or not? Motherfucker. Fucking asshole.
A 71-year-old disabled career tax-paying citizen to the state of Michigan. And in 2016, I tried to get my driver's license. The state told me that I had to pay $4,000 in driver's oversight fees on an incident that I had 21 years ago. And I couldn't afford it at the time. But the state of Michigan allowed me to buy a car, plate it, and insure it in 2016. And I thought I had a job opportunity that I set up for myself in Florida. I had a buyer for my home and a chance to move to a warm climate on doctor's orders in 2016. I applied for my license. The state gave me a license, but then they told me that I had to pay $4,000 in 21-year-old driver's oversight fees. That 2 years later, they rescinded those charges and called them parasitic on taxpayers. But that was too late, because at that point I couldn't pay the fee, and so I tried to get help from the state of Michigan. I thought maybe someone would be able to help me take my job offer and give me freedom. This is an old charge, and I didn't mind having an interlock device for a year, because I hadn't drank in years, so it was no problem. But the problem was they hit me with a $4,000 fee that I couldn't pay. So that was in late 2016, August of 2016. When I couldn't afford that payment, I went to the Lapeer County Department of Health and Human Services and applied for benefits. And that was in September, after being turned down, so I couldn't drive my vehicle. And what the Lapeer County DHHS did to me in 3 months, they destroyed my home, causing $15,000 worth of damage, and they signed me up they committed me to Social Security Part B against my will and over my objections, and I never signed for it. That cost me over $15,000 $12,000 year to date, and $15,000 worth of damage to my house. They did $27,000 worth of damage to my income and my house within 3 months, and then they left me without running water for over 2.5 years. And then in the meantime, when I was out of water for drinking water for over 5 days, in September of 2019, I tried to drive my vehicle to get water, and the Almont police, who had a grudge against me for making complaints against Lapeer County employees, had set a trap for me and were stalking me because Lapeer County 911 told them that I called them the day before begging for drinking water because I was out of drinking water for over 5 days and delusional. So they were waiting right across the street. They jumped me. They were stalking me. I had no idea. I tried to drive my vehicle without my license, and I didn't even get a block. I didn't even get onto. I was on a private roadway in my subdivision, and I wasn't even on a public road. So they were stalking me and arrested me for no legal reason when they knew that I was in a crisis. So that dragged on, and that's why I have over 160 evidence videos on my YouTube channel, Almont Senior, that got me into all this trouble with. All I wanted was I'm disabled. I need a vehicle in a 6-month cold climate. I need a vehicle. I need a vehicle to work, to work, be able to work, to get food and get medical attention. And they're depriving me of simple necessities of life, and they're making it a profit center, and that's why they're doing everything possible to sabotage me. And here it is. That was in 2016 and early 2017, and here I am in 2022, still trying to resolve the same issues with the Secretary of State, who now they're falsely accusing me of sabotaging my own vehicle, and the Secretary of State is helping corrupt Lapeer County by dragging on my over 3-year speedy trial. And here they just dragged this on because of the Secretary of State blew up my car for a second time. That was in April, and here it is 4 months later, and they dragged it out, and I still don't know. I have no date for when my jury trial starts, and it was supposed to start on April 26th of 2022. But my vehicle was in the shop having my Intoxilock breathalyzer, defective breathalyzer, finally replaced. So that's where we're at now. And that's just a heads up of what's going on. So back to the show. Bye.